crypto would mint Nigeria's next billionaire in dollars in the next 10 years.
I'm not saying that it's impossible to find somebody who is very rich in Nigeria, but to get to that billionaire in dollars in Nigeria, living in Nigeria, it requires more than the person. So if Nigeria, for instance, were to now blow, it will happen.
We always like to think everything is
rapture.
Yeah, but it's actually gradual.
10 years.
Crypto is going to be huge.
Without Nigeria moving in the direction of blowing, it will not happen.
Funny thing about crypto is, imagine Nigeria goes bad, crypto does better. Imagine all of a sudden we get another midfielder that shuts our FX borders.
Hello everyone, welcome to Drinks and Mics, brought to you by Nairametrics. Of course, my name is Ugo Dre, and we do this every Friday, 6 p.m. on this YouTube channel, Nairametrics TV. And of course, you can catch clips of this show on Nairametrics TV on Instagram. We had to create a separate Instagram handle for it, or it's still just jealous. For drinks and for
no, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a good idea.
All right, good to be here. Of course, I've got the usual gang with me. Extreme left, Maga King, Tunji Andrews in the house. We also got who else? But Sir Arnold Dublin Green.
Yes,
He's no longer Otumba, of course. And on the show today, I am super excited to have in here my main man. Yes, I had to drag him here. Very busy guy. Someone that I call the crypto king of Nigeria.
Thank you.
Great to have Buchi Okoro. Buchi is the CEO, founder, a co-founder of Quidax. Quidax is like the only licensed, or one of the first licensed crypto platforms in Nigeria, or digital assets, as you find them in the regulation according to SEC. So great to have Buchi in the house. Of course, you know what that means. We're going to be talking about crypto mostly today, and Tunji is super excited about it. I don't know why. But you know the funny thing, finally we have somebody who really understands crypto. Not all this fake news. Tunji just giving us sounds like he really knows what he's talking about. Sounds like it. But we know he doesn't know what he's talking about. He just talks. So today he's gonna listen. Because the real guy don't understand what it is. He's in the house today. So yeah, welcome, Buchi.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you. Good to have you.
Good to be
All right.
here.
Yeah. So I don't know how to start, because other than to say it's been a very great year for cryptocurrency, and whether it's globally or whether it's here in Nigeria, it's just been a great year. First of all, I think we do have a regulator that understands crypto, SEC. I don't know how you guys have seen the SEC DG talk about crypto before. Dude is, in fact, I think his PhD was around digital assets as well. So quite savvy about it. And we also have number one man in the world, number one president in the world, who, well, I think he understands this as well, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Fully behind it now. And we're seeing regulations pop up here and there. And so been a great year for crypto. Of course, crypto prices crossed, Bitcoin, by the way, crossed $100,000 per coin. This year, and it's been around that for much of the last few weeks. But before we get into some of those things, Buchi, let's just start with you. Like, I mean, you've been in this space for some years now, so interesting to just know how you got in here and the story behind Quidax and how you started Quidax.
Thank you, Ugo Dre and the gang for having me. The journey to starting Quidax. It was back in 2016.
Oh, wow.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Back in 2016.
Is that what you're drinking?
Yeah.
Wow, it's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be a good show.
So yeah, it was back in 2016. My friends and I were trying to buy Bitcoin to be a part of something. And we, at that point, it was very tough to buy Bitcoin. And so the only way we could buy Bitcoin was peer-to-peer.
Yeah.
Not just peer-to-peer, we had to buy Bitcoin on Nigerian.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
And
you basically go there and ask anybody who has Bitcoin.
yeah, so there's a thread for crypto transactions. I don't know if the thread is still active, but back then it was the thing. So after going through several nooks and crannies, we found that thread, and of course you try to do a transaction, and normally rite of passage you get scammed the first time, and then we're like, this does not make sense, right? But like back then it was very. I think we saw, luckily, quite early how big Bitcoin could be, right? One of my co-founders, he couldn't stop shouting. He said, "This thing is going to be huge. This thing is going to go to $3,000." You know,
Back then.
I still have a screenshot where we're trying to buy one Bitcoin, and I was complaining it was so expensive. It was 400,000 naira.
Exchange rate wise then.
That's 400,000 naira. I'm like, oh no, it's very expensive. Maybe we can do some gymnastics to get it cheaper. Only if I knew. But yes, so then we started talking about building out a place where every African can buy and sell crypto. We called it the Central Bank of Coins.
Wow. What an audacious name.
I'm telling you. That was that was the time when I had problem with the crypto industry.
Well, what sorry to cut you, but it's actually fascinating that from 10 years ago you thought about this, you saw it happen, or you saw it coming. I mean, what kind of mindset do you need to have to actually see something like that coming? Something that is super early. You know what fads are like, right? So many things that are here today, gone tomorrow. Where does your mind need to be to spot something?
Yeah.
That's going to be huge when it's so early and so scammy.
Yeah. So I really wish that I can be here and tell you we have a crystal ball. When you look at it, you look at the technology, you analyze the fundamentals. But that would be the issue. I mean, you have to, have a very good. So yes, there's some fundamentals, but there's a huge amount of
time and chance,
and
being
naivety.
in the right place, right time.
You just be naive, like this is it, and then like this will hit, and then sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it like catastrophic, very wrong.
I put out a tweet some time ago saying, before I start giving speeches in the future, this is the person that told me to do this thing. Because when it starts working, you now be like, I was sitting in my room one day.
It came to me.
I put it out there.
Back to the Quidax story. So did you at the time decide? So you kind of thought that there had to be a market for this?
Yeah.
So why? Was it because, you guys saw the demand in the market, or you just thought perhaps maybe there was something, very, very unique about Bitcoin? Because at that time, I guess it was just Bitcoin that we had.
Yes.
Yeah. A bit of Ethereum at the time too, but it was mostly Bitcoin.
It was mostly Bitcoin. It was really mostly Bitcoin. Ethereum was much later, but yes, we thought Bitcoin was going to be very huge, and we thought it was super important for Africans to be able to access and be a part of this thing, and it seemed like there was nowhere at the time, right? I mean, now we know that there are a few other places, but they were not quite as popular back then. So we said, okay, let's create something that allows every African to participate and be a part of this. Yeah.
So at that time, I guess, just to sort of piggyback on Arnold's question, there was very little understanding of cryptocurrency from a lot of people. And I might be wrong, but I think the guys who saw it early at that time always just thought it was something that you could just invest in, make money, and probably go. And then, of course, there was no regulation too. So how did you, when you guys were setting up the business or coming up with the business idea or business plan, did you think that maybe there was always going to be some sort of formal market, or did you see this as maybe the new currency, which I guess was what you had a problem with at the time. So a lot of people had a problem with. So, how did you see it? Because a lot of young people I speak to will say, man, at that time too, the impression thing was that this is the new money.
Yeah.
So has it always been like that, or did you just see this as, perhaps maybe an asset?
So there are two parts to it. Number one, when you look at the very core fundamental of Bitcoin, the maybe second line of the white paper, Bitcoin was created as a way to move money from point A to point B, right? That really didn't need a
centralized system,
centralized third party, which is usually typically bank, right? So there was that, and then there was the money-making aspect where people wanted to be able to be a part of this to make money. That was not the initial intent, but then it came out as a use case, right? And then, people were doing it. So if people were doing it, there is some demand for it, not anywhere near what we're seeing these days, right? But if there's some demand for it, then there has to be a formal way where people can partake in a way that's sane, right? And very, very different from having to go on Ireland to
get scammed.
Yes. to learn
about
Shout out to Naraland, by the way.
Yeah.
Legends of the internet.
So, interesting. So, did you maybe? Because I'm trying to understand the early days of getting into it. And there was this story you told once about. I like how you told the story of how the telephone started.
Yeah.
Maybe you probably want to tell that because I really like that story. And because the reason why I'm asking is why do people still don't understand it after so many years? Because this was like how many years ago, and people still don't get it.
Yeah.
Bitcoin has been in existence since 2009, right? So I'm not even talking about 2008. I'm not even talking
so
about
before you even
cryptoverse.
answer, let me take us back to something that one of the things that made me really worried about the entire crypto space. The CBN had just put a ban on digital assets. This was during lockdown. This was at the height of Clubhouse. Everybody remembers Clubhouse was the rand central.
Yeah.
And, people had come into a room to talk about that, CBN had just banned it. And the conversations in that room, because at this point, I didn't know much about crypto. So I was just, watching the people who and the enthusiasts from afar, and I was hearing these guys talk about, there's nothing they can do. This is come to stay. We're gonna take over, and I'm like, this. You all sound like, you sound like all this, prophets saying that the world is about to end. We're gonna take it.
Doomsday.
And for me, that was the problem. It was that problem where they felt that this was them about to replace the world order, thinking that for some reason the world order would just sit back and allow you take the power from them. And which is why I was like, these guys are just a bunch of crazies. But fast forward to now, I think I now see I think the entire industry also, the entire enthusiasts also see from the perspective of it being an asset, like you said, the second line was about moving transactions from one place to another. At that simple test use case, it makes all the world of sense. But in the case of it's going to take over from, it's going to be the new money.
Currency,
it's going to take over
Or just
fiat.
people are just more realistic, right? So I'm the same with you, right? I felt like I feel like people think that when a regime ends, it ends overnight. It's like rapture. You blink and then the chosen ones are gone and this is the new currency. But I think that saner heads are now starting to
Did you ever feel like that? Did you ever feel like there were crazies in the house?
There still are crazies. But saner heads starting to realize the regime change happens slowly.
Yeah.
Right. And we're seeing it in whether it's the structural change our gold is showing, or we're seeing it in the importance of cryptocurrency. We can see it slowly become more and more. I mean, even myself, right? So when I first got into crypto, it was more for speculative reasons. Years ago, it's, leverage, you put some cash down, you borrow, and then you trade, because we thought, it's just an opportunity to speculate. And then we speculated, and one Boxing Day, everything just disappeared on us. and then you get hurt and you go back and think, okay, what's actually going on here? And then you can actually see that cryptocurrency as a whole is changing from speculative to legitimate, from changes in the system. I mean, guys like Jimmy Diamond are still calling it a pet rock. But you're seeing that it's becoming a legitimate asset. JP Morgan announced a few weeks ago that they're going to start using Bitcoin as collateral to provide loans, which means to me it's now become an asset like stocks,
tangible
bonds,
asset.
or art, where you can actually park this thing and get cash from it. So I think that all the
crazies
doomsday
in the
guys
house,
saying their heads are now sort of looking at things, and regulators are now paying attention, which is why a lot of us are now paying attention and say, okay, this thing is actually quite legitimate.
But then, amidst all this, you still have skeptics. Why do we still have skeptics?
Okay, I would, don't take my word for it. I'll just take a shot at it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one of the most dangerous places you can come is between a person and their
his money.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The moment you start to say anything around somebody's money, just psychologically, it really, really makes you put up a wall.
Mm-hmm.
It was in 2009. We were in the village, end of 2008. My dad had just told me about, he's made some investment. He's supposed to provide for us for the long term. Stocks are the thing, diversifying risk, building for the future. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That's a smart man. Great stuff. Now we go in 2009, and this day I can't remember why. Maybe I was on holiday or something, but I was following him to work, right? And then on the way to work, we go to his stockbroker, and his stockbroker, they were having a conversation about his money. And it turns out that the value of his investment, which was, as far as even now that I know, quite substantial, for him, has tanked. It's been wiped out 90%.
Damn. Wow.
Right?
Within a year of saying this was like investment for the future.
Within a year. And so you see that experience has really rubbed up for me. It really shaped me quite a bit. But I think to the larger points, the moment you start to tell somebody, oh, there is this thing, come and put your money inside. It can go up, it can go down. Even the fact that it started to go up in the first place and they don't understand
why it's going up.
Why it's going up. You are trying to play games here. And I'm not going to be part of that with my money. You can do whatever you want. And I'm not going to be part of it. So I think those are some of the fundamental things why people, so how we see crypto changing now. Of course, senior heads are coming into the room. You have regulation coming in, and then you have big money coming in, which reduces the volatility. So maybe I'll allow Arnold to explain it. He's more of the, but
a lot of money reduces the volatility.
Yeah, it reduces the volatility over time. There's a lot of correlation to equities as well, and as the volatility reduces, what it means is that I won't put my 100 naira today and tomorrow it is 50 naira and then we're all just good. We're chilling like it's so okay. Maybe you put 100 in turns to 90. You have like a 20% drawdown. Okay, 30% drawdown. Okay, but like 90%, like are we playing, right? So the volatility reduces, and then people start to understand what is descent as an asset class, and then what is like absolute dog shit, right? That's one part. Then two, you have a world where, because there is a bit more clarity, there is now more money flowing into the space, and then people are actually building utility that allows it to fulfill that main purpose it was created for, right?
Which is transfer money.
Which is, and then a lot of, someone called this the year of the stable coin, right? So stable coin is an example of that. But guess what? Stable coin will not be the last example of the true power of cryptocurrency. And then I think the third point is we're going to see a lot of crypto in the back, right? Crypto as an infrastructure that allows crypto in the back. So a lot of crypto as an infrastructure that allows interesting things to happen. So when I think about, and my journey wasn't very far away, the first internet that I had, right? I begged, I hustled, I did every single thing to go and buy my Vodafone phone, router, modem, that whole setup. And then I'll plug it to the desktop at home. It was a process of getting on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it was such an intentional move. Now, when I did this thing back then, like my dad would look at me and he would be like, you are playing with children's toy, right? Of course, he would never get into that. There was so much clunk around just being a part of the internet.
Yeah.
Right? But today, you walk into a room, you walk into your house, and
Wi-Fi is everywhere.
You have to think about the process.
You like, so the UI, the UX of it. I mean, we've even come a very long way. From then, we've come a very long way between the evolution and the simplification of the internet to allow simple people to allow the normal person use it. Back in the day where you had to use IP addresses, you actually had to remember the IP address to go to a website, right? Before we had TLDs, right? So with crypto, that's the third point, which is crypto in the back. We'll have a world where my dad will be using crypto, but he will not have to know that he's using crypto, right? It will make his financial life much easier. He'll make a lot of interesting things happen for him, right? Maybe more efficient, faster, cheaper, but he would not have to go and open a Quidax account and then create an account and then, have to buy Bitcoin and send it, all of that stuff, right? So it'll be powering stuff.
So that I've thought about this and I wanted to, so crazy thought, and somebody might steal it, and please do steal it because I would like to see happen. So one of the things we see happen in Nigeria a lot is failed transactions. So I send money to you, it doesn't get to you. I've always thought about the fact that one of the things that could make transactions simple is a blockchain-based transaction ledger, which I could use USSD, for instance, and I transfer money to you, and all the thing needs to do is just debit entry, the ledger, and simple your own currency on your mobile phone really isn't cash. It's still part of the ledger because you use the ledger within the ledger, right? You have to actually physically try to extract money from the ledger to be able to use it with a third party. But within the closed ecosystem, it's still ledger to ledger. And I've always felt that this could be something very great for financial inclusion because one, it will mean that transactions will never fail because it's based on the ledger, and the bank doesn't need to be up, the bank doesn't need to be down. As long as the ledger is available, it's going to be a use case. Now, the thing is that if that kind of a system happens, I thought of it around, what's that, our stable coin that we created in Nigeria? E-Naira. I thought of it around the E-Naira.
But I mean, go on. Say CBDC.
Sorry, no verse. So I thought of it around that, but I felt, this would be a great way. Now, if somebody was using it, they wouldn't feel they were using anything digital. They just know that I send money to you, I receive money,
and it will always go.
Get, and again, the fantastic thing about it is that because it's on that chain, it's cheaper for me to be able to send and receive money. I don't need to pay for transaction fees. So there's so many.
Well, that's interesting because another use chain for that, even coming from a trading side, is also being able to trade equities and bonds, even on NGX and FMDQ. Right, so you're talking about failed trades. Now my brain is
settlement
issues. It will be cheaper. It will be cheaper for the people that are settling
on the same
day.
Right?
Yeah.
There might be people not happy with the fees. If you make it cheaper,
Yeah,
brokers are not going to be happy. But
and you know, the
it's
thing
a
is,
no-brainer for it to
settlement
actually go there.
settlement is a huge headache.
It's a
but if it's a ledger-based
massive
system, it just settles
So
itself.
guys,
Sorry, it's a massive.
I'm not going away.
we need to. We're talking about. Yeah. So so the whole purpose of having you here, really, there are a lot of people who probably don't understand this and want to understand crypto. And it's actually very important because it's now been regulated in Nigeria. And because it's regulated in Nigeria, then at least a huge aspect of it is legal. And so it's important that we get what exactly is regulated in Nigeria. Like when they say you now have a digital asset regulation that guides cryptocurrency, what does it then mean? Does it mean that, okay, Tunji and I can go to our bank and say, oh,
I don't buy crypto. I don't buy Bitcoin. No.
I want to buy crypto. Or does it mean I can go to my bank and say, look, this is my collateral. Yeah, after all, it's regulated. Or does it mean that Arnold and I can just decide to set up maybe a crypto shop, or a mutual fund for crypto? What
can I receive crypto as payment?
Yeah,
in my small mom and pop shop.
Okay, great question. So, firstly, I think the very first and fundamental bit of it is crypto itself, digital asset, has now come into our law by way of the ISA 2025. That's the Investment and Security Act it was passed in 2025 this year. So that, and as part of that regulation, it recognizes crypto as an asset class for Nigerians, right? And then gives the Securities and Exchange Commission of Nigeria the power to regulate the asset class and the industry. That's one. Then the second part is, and I think for most countries around the world, a lot of the things you can do is really to regulate the players in the space. So the SEC has the mandate to now regulate who and who plays in the space. And then, of course, what are the type of things they can do in that space. So there's regulation for, I think, 4 types of players, right? Virtual asset service providers, 1. Digital assets exchange, which Quidax is a digital asset exchange. And fun fact, that's the DAX behind Quidax. And then
oh, really?
Yep. And then digital asset offering platforms. And the last one, if I'm correct, is digital asset custodians.
Okay, so let's start from the first one.
Okay.
Virtual asset providers.
Virtual asset CEO, let me just pause you.
I want to know, because this is how Tunji entered pension behind me. We didn't know when they created micro pension. Tunji just left this media thing and just entered. So let's know whether that's where Arnold was to, because you can see Arnold is not interested, because Arnold has heard terms like he's familiar with custodian.
But please.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a roadshow to banks recently on this custodian conversation?
I don't know, but I know Quidax did have one as well, though.
Yes.
So what do these virtual players do?
We actually, funny story, the event was a 2-day event.
Okay.
The first day was for asset managers and portfolio managers.
I didn't
tell you, sorry.
Then the second day was for banks and OFIs.
Okay. I want to ask you who showed up, but we'll have the conversation off camera.
Oh, yeah. Quite a few interesting people were there.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll do something else. We'll do something like that again. We did in partnership with the SEC.
Okay.
Yeah, so the virtual asset provider, what do they, because when you say virtual, is it like, what's that one that I read one time? Is it NFCs? Like, I can now create NFCs and get it registered?
See, for instance, you're a wallet provider, right?
Okay.
A wallet platform.
So it does sound like it sounds like the crypto version of bank.
Or fintech, in a sense. No?
Fintech, yes.
Yes,
Payments.
fintech.
Payments.
Fintech, do you know Trust Wallet?
Yeah.
So if you build a Trust Wallet for Nigerians to support a lot of functionality for Nigerians, then you could use a virtual asset service provider license
So
to carry that service.
you can actually get a license to make payments through crypto. Is that what it is?
No.
Okay.
That's CBN.
Yes, so CBN regulates currency payments. So that is a CBN conversation.
That's a CBN conversation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But does it feel like it's going? I mean, it's going there, right?
Hey. Okay.
Like,
so
2 to 5 years, it should get there.
yeah,
According to your
so-
projections, I'm sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
of
kind of
course.
feel. I mean, without sorry to just deviate, we'll come back to that. But I kind of feel like the way these things tend to work is you probably SEC has already done its own. Then CBN will probably come later. I mean, only God knows when.
Heavy lobbying.
Because you remember Tunji, see how long it took CBN to allow payment service banks like Momo and Co. It took quite a while, even though he was already in operation in several other countries. So CBN tends to take its time for that to happen. But
I don't think that's the same here, though.
really,
Yeah, because with Momo, CBN's reluctance was deliberate.
Was banks lobbying?
Yeah,
I
it was.
kinda
It
think,
was
why
very
don't you-
deliberate.
So that same thing
It's probably happening.
that we know that probably made it deliberate could also be the same issue
So
here.
the difference here is that from about 2019, different heads of the SEC itself had an internal strategy towards digital assets. I think at some point they had a sandbox. I might be wrong, but I think they had a sandbox at some point to study digital.
The previous CBN did as well. It's just that
Isn't that
they
why the
just
whole
went the way
Naira
of
thing was
Naira.
getting pushed there?
Yes,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
did as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
At least I know some of them.
Yeah,
But I mean, let's
100%.
go on. So Quidax is so your own license digital asset exchanges.
Yes, digital asset exchange.
So what does that mean then?
So what it means is that we are regulated by the SEC to enable anybody in Nigeria to buy and sell digital assets.
So it's a
So
stock
the-
exchange for digital
Yeah,
assets.
so
Perfect,
the
perfect.
capital market equivalent of NGX.
Yeah, NGX,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, because so I'm trying to understand this thing now in my head. It seems to be making sense. Then you now have the DACs, which is the digital
Digital
asset.
asset custodian.
No. What's the DAXs?
DAX is
That's the
digital
exchange.
asset
What
exchange.
Quidax
Then what
is.
Yes.
So the creators
Yeah.
are what? The ones that create the digital assets.
So digital,
Because I think there were 4 licenses you
yeah.
mentioned.
So
now.
creators come with the DAOP, yeah, digital asset offering platform.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This asset offering platform. So there's a
Okay, so
platform
hold on. So the digital asset offering platform. So these are the guys who create the cryptocurrency, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. They create the cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to sell it, you sell it on the exchange.
Like old
Yes,
men
like
trying to
yes.
learn
Then
new tricks.
I can
Custody
now,
it.
yes, so I can now have a wallet.
You can see it, right? Like,
It doesn't help that
moderating.
Why?
I said, like old men trying to learn new tricks.
You guys don't even know it. Get away.
No, I get
So,
it.
like, you
I
don't.
get it.
You know, I have to relate it to what I already know.
Let me see why I get it.
There's an
I'm not that old, guys. I'm not that-
Let me see why I get it, right?
Yeah.
Everything
You probably
he has
get
said,
it.
No,
You-
everything he has said
Yes.
is a very Nigerian template.
No.
Look, no, it's true.
No, Tunji,
now.
hold on now. You're looking at you. I'm looking at. I want to believe. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. I believe there's an audience out there
Yes.
who doesn't get it.
I want to get it.
Yeah, so
Want to
I'm
get it.
trying to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
past
break it
that
down.
now.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm not here to educate
No,
you guys.
no,
So
we are
again,
not.
back to my
We are
point.
not fighting you. We are not fighting.
Because you guys, I thought I was already, I thought I was already telling me an old man.
He's
That's
still
all.
triggered.
These are the people here. These are the people here. Anyway,
I swear to God, sorry.
so
Sorry, Jerry.
It makes sense in my head.
Continue.
So Tunji here creates a currency. Arnold provides his wallet.
Yeah.
I'm the one buying the currency. So I buy from Tunji. I can keep it in Arnold's wallet.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I want to sell it, I can come and sell it on your exchange.
Yes.
So what then does the custodian do?
The same thing every
Hold it.
custodian does.
Yes.
Hold
So,
what exactly?
so basically, the idea is with every custodian is that the custodian is the one that keeps the real
Holds
value.
it, yeah.
So the exchange itself is just the ledger in the real sense, right?
But
so
I thought custodians were probably the idea of a custodian makes sense if we're talking about stable coins. What is the custodian holding with? Let's say if we create maybe a cryptocurrency like Ethereum, for example, what is going to be the role of a custodian here?
So the idea is that the exchange should not hold funds.
Bam.
So NGX does
don't
not
hold, yes,
hold
yes.
your.
That's why I said
your
it's a very
assets.
Nigerian
So
template.
who owns the money for the
No,
engine?
it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not.
It's global.
No, it's not Nigerian
global. Yeah,
template.
yeah, exchange.
That's the
Don't-
problem.
yeah,
when people
exchanges
try to
don't
sound
hold.
too smart.
exchange is just it's in the name exchange, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's in
You carry out the function of matching the trades
exactly.
between the counterparties, right? And making sure with stocks, then there's settlement, but making sure the trade's clear.
So that's probably like a registrar CSCS kind of function, something like
On the
that.
custodian. So, but my next
Yeah.
question for your exchange is for someone like me now, it sounds good, it sounds great, but I'm always worried about liquidity, right? So if a mutual fund, someone decides to create a mutual fund, 10 billion naira worth of crypto for Nigerian investors, which I'm assuming the SEC is probably allowing or about to allow local asset manager to do. And I need to liquidate. Or for two things, I need to mark my book. That's how I want to show monthly returns. How easy is it for me to get prices to be able to show returns on a monthly basis to report to my investors? And number two, if I have a 1 billion naira redemption for my fund, let's say I need to liquidate 1 billion naira.
How is it for you to get out?
How liquid is it for me to actually get out?
Okay, interesting question.
Okay.
So number one, mark to market. Number two, how is it for you to get
Liquidity
money
out,
out?
money out.
Yes. Now, what currency?
So I have a basket. So I have a basket of currency.
Okay. Okay.
So my fund is priced in naira because I can't give.
Yes.
I can only give naira to my investors.
Yes.
But under the
Underline.
it's a
Yes.
basket. Cardano, whatever it is.
Cardano.
Cardano.
Yes. Okay.
That's the old man in the house.
Irrespective. So,
irrespective.
so,
of
so no.
baskets.
Let's even start with the fact that when you ask currency, it means that some currencies are more liquid to
100%.
exchange out of.
Okay.
100%.
Some currencies, some cryptos.
So I can actually base
currencies.
my weighting on liquidity, right?
Yeah, you can base your weighting on liquidity. You can base your weighting on the fundamentals of the token, right? That's where you typically want to start from.
Okay.
How important is this token? What it's doing in the world?
Okay.
How many people? Who's behind it?
Mm-hmm.
Who's trading it? How much is being traded? Right. So for a fund, it will be very important for you to know all of these things, right? Because if you buy a shitcoin, right, which is a coin, a meme coin is meme coins are
Fun
typically
fact, there is
shitcoins.
actually a shitcoin.
That's what it's actually called.
Meme coins are typically shit coins, but if you buy a token that fly by night, it really can give you 10,000%
Which is
returns.
what everybody wants, right?
Yeah, especially if you're trading with $50 or 100 naira. Yes, you want those type of returns. But like if you're looking for something solid, then you are going to be waiting along those lines, and then you'll be investing in things that are the only things that are super, super liquid. So if you look at the ETFs in the US, right now we just have Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah.
They are liquid as it gets,
Yeah, of
right?
course, yeah.
Now, the moment you start going down the totem pole, anything happens. But still, we're still talking at least top 10 cryptocurrency, top 10, top 20. We're still talking anything from 5 billion a day traded,
Okay.
right?
USD, by the way.
5 billion USD a day traded, and then it goes up. Now, for representation as a Nigerian mutual fund,
Yeah.
ultimately, digital assets, crypto is a very global asset, right? And then it also means that the currency, the base currency at the end of the day is USD,
Yeah, that's
right?
That's right, beautiful.
So you can easily mark to market, and then it will reflect, especially when you look at today we have the exchange rate is in a much better place, so it will actually truly reflect the price on the global market. It's also sort of like buying gold, right? You're buying gold, you're buying a global asset, and then you're not going to get like Nigerian price that'll be different from the
your
price in the
exchange is
US.
connected to the rest of the world. So if I'm trading on your exchange, it's giving me access outside.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So what creates liquidity on a local exchange in Nigeria, for example? So is it the same? So I mean, am I going to like, because if I buy cryptocurrency today and maybe I put it in my wallet, right? And I want to sell it, so I can come on like a local platform, list it there. So SEC allows things like, so our own SEC will allow me list.
That's
like
you create your.
I'm saying let's say I have Bitcoin in my wallet now, and I want to sell. So typically, what I would do is that I would probably used to go to Binance, right? Until Binance got kicked out of Nigeria. I guess people have other things that they do now, using all sorts of stuff. So if you now have a platform that is now regulated, we now exchanges that are regulated in Nigeria. So can I now then list that my Bitcoin or that my Bitcoin that I have, can I now put it on that exchange and sell?
Yes, of course.
So is that what that's what I'm trying to understand?
So
what
if I bought my
does.
Bitcoin from elsewhere, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
If I bought Bitcoin from elsewhere, I can still sell it.
So what I think the more pertinent question is that, and he has said they're part of a global market for crypto. So that Bitcoin conversation is not really Nigerian. It is a global conversation with Nigeria inside it. The Nigerian conversation really is if Nigeria or a Nigerian were to create a Bitcoin, right? What would be the liquidity for such a provider or such a creator?
That's a different question, though. So that's a second question.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the more pertinent question
I was going to get to that because, first of all, we just looking at us like this old man.
No. That's a very dicey topic. The second one.
I mean, exactly. So the first one is answered. So which means today the SEC regulation allows us or some of us to list, or those of us who have cryptocurrencies. I mean, those who have cryptocurrencies now.
I thought it was criteria. I thought it was different criteria.
You don't have, so Tunji and I have. So to list our cryptos.
Is it legal to have?
Quidax.
I mean,
Well, maybe that's another question. Is it legal to have?
It is now.
What?
To have
Because I know
cryptocurrency?
it is now.
Is that
Is it legal to have Bitcoin?
Yeah,
of course.
It is.
Of course, yeah.
It's not illegal in Nigeria.
Yeah. No, but there's a word you keep using. When you use the word list, it means a different thing.
Oh, really? I mean,
that's what I was saying.
To put it on there.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So if I want to sell my GTB now, if I want to sell my GTB or Access Bank shares, I would just
You're not going to list it on NGX. You see.
Yeah.
You're confusing me too.
So what do I then do?
Because my check is
I
going to be on my
Listen, I go to my broker. I say, okay. So let me explain this. So in the world of equities, right?
Yeah.
That's
So
like
whatever. In the world of equities,
So you're showing your age.
If
Your age is showing.
if I own a stock, right, and it is in, say my mom or my dad hands over to me a stock she bought several years ago, it's in paper form, I would go and dematerialize it.
Yeah.
Right? So it's with somebody, right? So I get it. It has to go through a stockbroker. So I go to a stockbroker takes that stock in liquid form now, and then takes it to the exchange to sell. That's basically what I'm saying.
Yes.
So
we understand you.
yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to explain the word list. So I have my crypto. It's
So you
in
want
my
to sell it on the-
MetaMask or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
Right? So I get it out of MetaMask. I want to bring it on
go on
Quidax. So that's what I mean. So,
Yes.
so what's the word?
So you transfer it.
It's like
Okay, I
stocks
transfer.
now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I can transfer it
Yeah.
to see.
I get it. I get it. We just went for the first 5 minutes.
I'm just trying to explain to you what I mean by list.
But yes, you get what he's asking, right?
Yes, yes.
But this thing actually opens
I'm
up.
not asking the
Opens so much. I'm trying to explain to him what I meant by list.
Yeah, no.
So you're saying it's
I
transfer.
understand. Yeah.
Okay, good. So now, back to the second question, which is
Liquidity for Nigerian assets.
if somebody creates a cryptocurrency, so then
First of all, is it legal to create it? We agree it's legal, right?
Just out the blues. No, you need license.
Yes, I mean if you have a license.
Of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
of
You're
course.
able to get
So
license.
what
choice of
would
yours.
be the criteria to creating an asset? Because I'm asking from the perspective of an asset manager, right? An asset manager wants to create a fund,
Yeah.
right? You have to write the SEC, you have to write the prospectus, show them what this will be benchmark against, what the returns will likely be, what your benchmark is.
Now you're creating a fund.
Yes,
creating
if
a
you're
fund,
creating a fund, right?
Yeah.
So you write the SEC, explain to them that we want to create this fund, though.
Yeah.
This fund is going to trade in agricultural products, for instance. So we're going to call it agric money or something like that.
isn't the same thing I did?
No,
I want to see what he's doing. No, but he hasn't landed yet.
Okay, land.
So agric money,
Let him
right?
cook.
So you tell SEC, this is where we're going to do it. This is the kind of returns we're going to give to the people. This is how we're going to market it and all of that. Now, question is, for a creator of a digital asset, what is the protocol?
Like, you think about the IPO.
Yeah, exactly. What is the protocol for the SEC?
Yeah, it's called
You know me, I'm a sharp guy.
ICO, initial coin offering. Is that what you're asking?
Is that what it's called?
Is that what it's called? That's what you're going around.
That's called the shit coin offering.
Anyway, go on, man.
Oh wow. Okay. So there's two parts to it. You actually, I think there's one part which is you explain the fund, creating a fund, right? Which is almost like a mutual fund, right?
Yeah.
And then you also, on the crypto side, you mentioned creating a crypto, a coin.
Yeah.
In reality, if you were going to put both of them side by side, it would be listing an asset.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's listing
an asset
on NGX. So you want to
exactly
IPO,
pretty much. Yeah, IPO,
right?
Yeah.
So it's not it's not a fund per se, but
Exactly.
So that will be this thing. But then there so as part of the digital assets offering platform licensing rules, so there are quite a bunch of things that they look
we
at.
should find that out.
The
that'll be
team,
great.
what exactly is doing.
You didn't know?
Yeah,
Has there been listed a Nigerian digital
I
asset?
think there has been, no?
yeah, CNGN.
CNGN.
CNGN, yeah.
How's it doing?
It's a stable
What's the use
stable
case
coin. It's a stable coin. So stable coin pegged to the
Trades in
naira.
naira, price in naira.
Yes. So it's
Wait,
a
is
stable
it
coin
government
pegged
backed
to naira.
or
No.
personal, private?
Well, it's backed. It's created by a private entity, but it's backed by the naira. So 1 for 1.
Oh, okay, one for
And
one.
SEC approved.
Yes, SEC approved.
So where is it listed?
And it's listed on Quidax. It's listed on Buchi, and then it trades P2P as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's it doing? How's
Is it
liquidity? Yeah.
I mean, you're trading against naira, right? So,
Yeah.
So the way it works is you give the entity, right? If you're KYC to do those transactions, you give the entity naira. They create the digital tokens backing that naira 1 for 1, and then you're able to do your transactions, move that. It increases the velocity of money, right? And then when you're done, so maybe you go to Quidax, you put that on Quidax, you trade CNGN you can trade it for BTC, you can trade for Ethereum, or whatever asset you like. When you're done, say you come out, you trade back your Bitcoin to CNGN, you can go back to the entity to say, hey, I have this CNGN, I want to redeem it for naira, and then they redeem it for naira 1 for 1 as well.
So let me ask you a question, right, from an institutional perspective, because we also have institutional financial services guys that listen. If I was a broker, right, say Quadra Securities, or whatever broker, and I want to start offering crypto to my clients, how easy is it to plug and play with you? So because people ask me all the time as well, crypto, because crypto, until recently, crypto isn't really an asset that I look at.
Yeah.
But I started looking at it extremely personally. But because I'm still getting my head around it, I still haven't started, advising it to clients, but something I'm sure we'll all start doing. But as a broker, if I wanted to start offering, just like I offer GTCO stocks or Nigeria Treasury bills or Champions Breweries commercial paper, if I wanted to start also offering any crypto to clients here, how easy is it to plug and play with Quidax? Because SEC allows it now, right?
Yes, of course.
Right. So
yes. I think very easy, and we offer quite a few ways for people to be able to plug in, right?
Okay.
So we have one way, which is an application, web mobile app. We also have APIs.
Okay,
right.
so if I have as the broker, I have an app already that my clients can just come and buy stocks.
Yes.
We can plug into.
Yes. So we have APIs that you can plug in.
So fun
Yes,
fact,
and
I
then
was
we
just
People know this, right?
I know you've checked Google
yes,
something
yes,
up now.
yes.
What do you want to?
Yes.
What do you want to
And sorry,
tell us?
on the
why
custody
you
side,
harassing me now?
We are-
I just said my own. I don't know. Godre is now triggered.
Will you-
It's very triggered.
I can then on my app, as I see my GTCO on my
Yeah,
app, I
yeah,
see my
yeah,
Zenith, I'll
yeah.
also see my.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
So, fun fact: I just looked at the CNGN their app, their website. Only traded on Buchi and Quidax. It says it has. I might be wrong because this is the way it was written here, but it looks like it's 298 million naira in circulation.
is that the market?
The liquidity market cap.
Okay.
Yeah, so it does look like it has some promise, but I think the general context is you as much as I loved Quidax, to be top, you want it to be more than just Quidax and Buchi, right?
Yes, but
How did they get that?
also within the bounds of regulation?
Yeah,
So
okay,
it has to be regulated venues. Yeah. So you think about
So I want us to touch on two things. I mean, time is almost running, but I want us to talk about use cases and monetization. I think it's also two areas where I guess a lot of people don't get, right? And can be confusing. So maybe let's even start with the CNGN.
Wait, did I say 298 billion, right? I said billion.
You said
no,
million.
billion. So sorry, billion.
Okay. So
Yeah, market cap.
what exactly?
298 billion.
So what is their use case, right? So is it just for typical that you mentioned now? It's peer-to-peer exchange. So if I wanted to transfer, I don't want to transfer naira, transfer.
Absolutely. It feels that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so, and when you think about that, you know how you were talking, when you were describing the solution where money can move within a system,
Yeah.
and because it's a closed loop, because it's ledger, that actually describes the Bitcoin Lightning Network and a lot of layer twos that we're seeing, right? So what happens is there's the underlying blockchain. We create almost like a separate ledger on top of the underlying blockchain, right? This separate ledger is it's lighter, is much cheaper, is a lot more efficient, right? So transactions move in that system on that ledger. And then final settlement is done on the blockchain. So that gives it like the security, right? So with a lot of the layer twos that we're seeing on Ethereum now, that is the concept on which they're running, right? So with CNGN, and in terms of use case, why would I use CNGN? If I wanted to move, what's time? 7:21. Maybe if Quadros wanted to move 10 billion to Nairametrics, right?
About time.
Maybe to buy suya.
That's a lot of suya.
At 7:21, tough luck, right? Because
100%.
maybe you
Up to
get
3 PM,
at
yo.
you're
Yeah.
cooked, right? So
Yeah.
you're trying to use maybe NIBS. You have RTGS.
RTGS.
Yeah.
Maybe you
Napsa.
have Swift.
Yeah.
Right. So you have an issue, but like 7:21, I can easily move 10 billion to you.
Oh wow.
Right. With CNGN. So, and then if we trust that the value behind CNGN is there,
there.
right? you can take
I don't
for my
necessarily
word.
have to take it out of the system. I could
Yeah,
just
you
use
can
it and buy other
take
things.
my word for it that I have moved 10 billion to you. Right? If we all agree that that money is actually there, and then we call it value. So as a settlement layer, it proves to be super.
By the way, if
efficient.
anybody decides to use the idea that I just gave out, please contact me. Let's talk.
So if you said if everyone agrees,
if everyone agrees, that's what SEC is there for. But that's also the basis of the United States
like an OTC
dollars
transaction, right? So you have to agree.
yeah, but United States dollar is backed by the full faith and credit of the United States.
That means-
Same as Naira. So this is
Full faith
who is
credit
backing
of,
this? So we're backing. So this is backed by. So we believe that this will work because we believe that the SEC is regulating CNGN. So SEC will check and be sure that they actually have 200 and whatever billion in their account.
But it's almost the same
298 billion.
as an equity, right? If we agree that the price of the exchange that the price gives me for GT
No, it's not even the exchange
what
that's
I
the
agree.
issue.
What me and
It's
you
the
have agreed
asset. The
that-
underlying asset matters. Remember what you're saying.
Yeah, but remember, even in equity, fundamental valuation is art.
No, valuation. No,
Right.
this is not a valuation issue. This
Okay.
is
A liquidity
an
issue.
asset itself, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to transfer one asset to another.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so but you need to be sure that the underlying asset is there.
Which is
Yeah.
why the
Okay, that's what you-
custodians
yeah, yeah, yeah.
exist. Abi?
Yeah, the custodian actually confirms.
the custodian.
Even in trading, even in other asset classes, the custodian, you have to make sure. I mean, back in the day, the equity, Nigerian equity days, before I make the trade, my broker has to check the custody.
Yeah, to be sure it's
check
there.
stocks
To be sure,
So all those
I
play
remember-
games.
I remember back in the day.
But the thing I say about this, this is not a plug. I don't know who the CNGN people are.
Watch.
But, no. I'll plug later. Don't leave that one. It's not me. The CNGN people, as in there's this. So think about 30 December, for instance. People who are coming into the country, they necessarily don't need to bring Naira. So think about me exchanging everything I
Can you
have,
exchange dollar with it?
change it to USDT, Abi,
Yeah.
and then bring out the exchange, flip it to CNGN.
Yep. And then pay with CNGN.
Can you do that with
payment
USDT?
issue now, though.
Yeah.
allows-
On Quidax, for instance, you can move from USDT to CNGN.
So you get it. You can already see the flow coming down.
I don't like the way Tunji is sound. Tunji is sounding like he gets it. So I don't like it.
No,
Because I wanted it to be quiet today, but I don't know why. Seems to get there. So.
No. But it's I get the use case. It's beautiful. The layer is the utility. And so because settlement, people really do not realize that Nigerian banking, or at least what Nigerian banking is layers and layers of a lot of work.
Yeah.
We just see that I just transfer money and
then
you don't get them. You don't see them. Oh, you don't see them. You never see them. And we don't realize that transfer is layers and layers of work. We need to simplify this to reduce the amount of errors that happen. That's why when a transaction fails, it takes you 10 working days to fix because it's those
Or when the
layers.
money
You have
loss,
to
yeah.
unbundle those
Yeah.
layers. Now, a blockchain ledger, because you can't the ledger is written.
Yeah.
So if it is written and you have money, you don't have money, it's clear. There's no going back. You can't game the system. So I think that's one major area that we can really work around. But of course, it takes a lot of regulation has started.
Yeah.
Now players need to create the products for it.
Yeah.
Arnold's and them. No. Them Arnold are traders. So we
Yeah,
need
we
more.
create
We
liquid-
need.
you need market makers as well
something
to
else
come in
though.
and
So-
I'm
what are
it's so many other things. that
Sorry, Arnold.
we don't know. Sorry.
So beyond stable coins, what other use cases do you see here? I mean, you've talked about how this can go from the old days of the World Wide Web or the internet to what we have today. So what are the kind of use cases you see? Because I also see government has huge interest here.
They do?
Yes, I've spoken to people in government. They have a huge interest here. They actually do see it as some kind of avenue or way to also increase tax to GDP ratio.
Yeah,
But that's a subject for another day. Maybe when we get time with Didi here, we'll explain that to us. But more curiously, what are the other use cases you see? I mean, I can understand transfers and transferring pretty quickly. But as we go on, what use cases do you see?
For what? For crypto?
Yeah. Now that we have this regulation, I'm just curious to know.
So I think there is quite a few interesting things that we can start to see and we can start to build. So there's beyond stable coins, there's a lot of conversations around cross-border, the efficiency of cross-border payments.
Yeah, that's huge.
Right. And how crypto can help simplify the process and then make it cheaper. Right. And I say that with a pinch of salt.
Do you know I love what he just said? Do you know I love what he just said? Because everything he has said goes against the grain of what we initially said about decentralized finance. Because if cross-border payments means that exchanges like Quidax will have to somehow be integrated into a system that holds the Ghanaian version of Quidax, the Cameroonian version.
Connected globally, right? So, yeah, I can easily buy and sell my crypto with the global markets.
But that means you go to
this
the
thing
global.
you said, is that like how it's what's it gonna evolve into to get this to work?
No, it doesn't have to be. That's one way, right? It's a tough way, but then you also, so you have a world where you have Quidax in Ghana, you have Quidax in Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, and then it's much easier to, if you plug into Quidax, then you have access to
that market.
Yes, all the markets.
Yeah.
Crypto.
However, you can do it where you integrate to Quidax in Nigeria. You go to Ghana, you integrate to Gadax. You go to Kenya, Kedax. Go to South Africa,
But
Sadax,
there needs to
right?
be a line drawing all of you together. That's my point.
No. So the person who's doing that integration is one entity.
Now this is the
right,
connector still.
that has connected all of the markets. But that is another way to do it, right? That's a not very centralized version of that.
Yeah.
Another way is just even direct movement of money.
Yeah.
So there's something that we're looking at last week. So somebody was in Nigeria. It was Saturday. He was trying to get money to his family before a deadline passed, right, in the UK. The only way he could do it on that day was to use Naira, buy USDT, send that USDT to the UK.
And now converted it to...
And yes, they converted it to Bitcoin. Right. So that's
Bitcoin
just a direct to GBP.
Bitcoin then
To
sold
GBP.
it. GBP,
Right.
yeah.
So that is direct remittance where you are very actively involved. Now, the other way is simplified where you don't see the crypto layer.
Oh yeah, it just happens.
Yes,
so
it just
you don't
happens.
see that.
So you see the efficiency.
Yeah.
And today we're seeing, the conversations
Yeah, but
we've
this is
had
what I
with.
was
By the way, I
Central
hate
bank's
explaining,
purview,
but
man.
what you just said now is that
This is
instead
up to
of
central banks.
going from Naira to USDT to GPP, you just say you're sending money to this person, and the person will.
So somebody else handles that whole back end.
Really.
Yeah.
Isn't that what these guys do? Lemfi or something like
No, even banking has gotten to this point where, for instance, my UK account, if I want to send to you, right, and I want you to receive in USD, I can specify from point of origin that I want you to
get
USD, USD, and then
They handle all of
handle all those
dirty work.
they-
That's
exactly.
central bank. But I'm just saying what you described as outside central bank's purview, right? So isn't that going to take a while to come?
No,
Not really.
but are we not
No,
regulated by
it's-
SEC?
No, not really. Which of them?
The first one you described when you said he took Naira and bought USD.
Oh, no, that's-
USD stable coins.
That's not.
stable coin, and then
No, that's not outside central bank's purview. No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not.
Especially because when you're buying, you're using your currency, which is the GPP, to
Naira.
buy the person's
Naira to buy USDT.
USDT.
Then you
And
send
the
that
person the
USDT.
other
So, but
is
which
now-
of those guys are regulated by CBN then? By a central bank then?
yeah.
Which of them? Is it like Bank of England? Are like any of them regulated?
So I don't think any of them per se is regulated by the central bank, but they are regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, which by extension. So no, think about it. No, let me explain it this way. Let me explain it this way, right? There is these are layers, right? There's the crypto layer. There's the crypto layer, which is I have taken USDT and I have sent it to you. That's the crypto layer.
Mm-hmm.
The layer of I take Naira and I buy USDT is where the payment conversation comes in. Now, most of the times you find that players like this partner with payment-enabled companies who facilitate that conversation. So it is not a outside... You are seeing it from the perspective of... Because the person that I gave the USDT could be next door. It doesn't have to be in the UK,
in the
right?
UK, yeah.
Okay, so if I were a broker and I wanted to connect with you, do I still need a payments enabled? Can't I just plug straight to you?
No, you
take my
can't.
client's Naira.
But how will you collect your Naira?
Just regular bank. So
Yeah.
I'm a
That's the
broker.
payment part.
The way, so no, but that's a regular. So the way I
That's the
collect your
regular payment part.
Okay,
You get.
Okay. Because when you said payment, it just sounded
It's just,
complicated.
so
Okay.
it's not. There's no magic around it.
Yeah.
So, for instance, in Nigeria now, if you were to open a mom and pop shop, right, or an Instagram, you are selling hair, right? One of the things that you could do is, should I plug in? I don't want to plug. It's not.
you
I don't have-
Feel free, man. Our buy is part of the house.
No, it's not about buy. It's not about buy. Our buy.
Okay, that's-
So for instance, one of the things I know that this company does, Paystack, is that they can set you up instantly to start receiving payments instantly, right? So you open the front store and you can then create products and then put prices, and then the person clicks. Paystack creates the account where you pay. It goes into the merchant account and it flows into your account the next day.
Yeah.
So you don't really have to have a payment license. It's just Paystack does that for you. Paystack enables that. So for instance, if I were to, now this is oversimplifying the conversation, by the way, but if I were to be a crypto exchange, for instance, and I wanted to do that, and I create that Paystack link to collect money, and then I do my normal regulated exchange conversation, and then the person on the other side does I take it from here and outside with another Paystack version in the UK.
In the UK.
It's just financial transactions, you know?
Wasn't that just too many things?
Ahead. So that's what he's saying, that
yes.
eventually somebody would now collapse everything.
There is where I think even quite a few like remittance companies are even like having conversations to start using crypto and stable coins in their flow.
Makes sense.
Right. Over the past 3 months, I think maybe we've spoken to 2 of the 3 largest remittance companies in the world, right? Who are now like very actively looking at crypto to power their transactions.
It just makes sense.
Yeah. So that's one
So
interesting
beyond
thing.
payments and transfers, what other use cases probably exist?
So when we talk about use cases, there is use case.
I mean, like
that
for
we don't-
example, now Ethereum has. I mean, it's different
Smart.
use case.
So I was going to get there. So there is use cases of crypto, right? Payments, moving money is the mother use case of crypto, and one of the chief reasons why Bitcoin was created. Then there is crypto as an asset class, right? Which is the ability for. I saw this fascinating story. I thought it was quite beautiful a few days ago. So this wallet address, right? Well, a few wallet addresses, and they belong to the same entity, party, person. They've moved for the first time, right? So these wallet addresses have 20,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah, he bought it when it was nothing, and then
0.78.
Yeah.
Never touched
I
it.
saw that.
Never touched it.
Yeah, I saw that story too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never touched
So was
it.
that thing real? I thought it was one of these.
Oh, so when stories like that come out, that's the fascinating thing about Bitcoin, blockchain, crypto. There is the transparency is 100.
But do people want to be? Do I?
How come they didn't hack that? Why didn't they hack?
To know
How
that I
now?
have
So it's
20,000
not.
coins
So
and
they
I
don't know.
just moved.
They don't know it's you or not.
They just know
they
it's
know your
and
wallet
wallet
number,
could be
yeah.
17.
But don't you
8
KYC my wallet? Don't you have my...
So there are two types of wallets you can have.
Okay.
You can have wallets with a centralized entity like Quidax. And in fact, we typically advise once you buy your tokens on Quidax, move it to another wallet where you hold the keys, right? Then you're responsible for security and all of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so Quidax...
Because all those things, when something goes, you know how it is when is it in South Africa, someone
goes missing.
and
The
then
founder lost.
founder's dead.
Yeah.
And then they lost the password and the...
Also,
you know?
you might want to invest in a cold wallet eventually. But
Yeah, so that's literally what I'm describing, right? So you
Cold-
move
what's
it.
a cold wallet?
So a cold wallet is a wallet that's not connected to the internet.
Okay.
I love the way that just true.
So is it like a
It's almost
it's
like,
like
a
a
vault.
It's like
In
a vault.
the
It's a physical
bank
vault.
balance, it's like a vault.
Yeah.
Right. So you have this vault, but because it's very digital, it's usually a very small device, almost like
Yeah.
a USB
Oh, it's a
stick
device,
type.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then it has some of them have apps attached to your phone. So whenever you need to use it and you want to transfer,
You can just open
you
it.
could
Wow,
connect and stuff like that.
Yeah. So in our case, we use an institutional provider for that type of service, Fireblocks, which they do like an amazing service.
So
Largest in the world.
One of the use cases that fascinates me is DeFi, and I have always wondered why or how crypto through DeFi can help solve some of our consumer lending issues we have in Nigeria, right? Because so you've seen a lot of startups, fintech startups that have tried to crack consumer lending, lending money to people with little to no collateral. So you've seen the issue is that they're always calling their father and mother and sister and everybody telling them to return the money, blah, blah. You've seen them threatening, blah, all because of that trust issue. So now, and I'm saying to myself, okay, this is regulated. We're in ground zero.
Yeah.
We know we're probably going to get to ground 1,000 somewhere because of the way technology moves fast. And I'm saying DeFi already exists in the crypto world today, right? It's just that mostly not regulated. So now that we have crypto regulated in Nigeria is not a few countries that have it regulated. How will that be a use case? I mean, from your own experience.
DeFi in lending. Ooh, okay.
You go hard.
So
I mean, you guys talked about stablecoin and all, so I'm just wondering how would that work?
So the way DeFi works, I have and I think we had a conversation about this recently. So I have my
Reservations.
No, I have my views on like credit and some of the fundamental problems with credit in Nigeria. Right, so that's on one part. Maybe it's a topic for another day. But so the way a DeFi loan will work, for instance, is okay, let me even explain what DeFi is. Now, DeFi is decentralized finance, right? Supposed to be the goal of the whole crypto, but there now became a divide between CeFi and DeFi, right? The people who you call the
It was at that divide I joined.
Oh, it was at the divide.
It was at that divide. Because before that divide, it didn't make any sense.
It seemed like everybody was in that WhatsApp group. Yes. So you have CeFi. CeFi is centralized finance. You have DeFi, and then sometimes you hear TradFi. So that's traditional finance.
So you're getting schooled, bro. All right.
Buchi is so bitter.
Beefing them like mad.
So you have DeFi where somebody has and the whole point of it is you don't have any central entity in the middle. But at the end of the day, there are core principles of credit that has to apply if you're giving a loan there. There are the core principles of insurance if you're doing insurance on decentralized finance that have to apply if you're insuring anything on chain, right? So an example of a decentralized finance loan is you can come into a platform, a DeFi platform that says, okay, put your Bitcoin or your Ethereum as collateral, and for that, I would give you yield.
Yeah.
I'll give you yield. I'll give you yield. Yes,
Yeah.
I'll give you yield on the asset. Now, the platform in turn takes that asset
He lends it
and
out.
says, yes, they will lend it out. And then they make the spread on the transaction, right? Now, the person who's coming to lend is not coming without collateral. So let's say, for instance, you put in your USDT, right? Or USD stable coin, you put it on the platform and then they promise you a yield of 7%, right? Because that's much higher than what you get in the US. They promise you 7%. Now, the person takes that 7%, lends it out for 13%, right? The fellow who's coming to borrow the USDT
At 13%.
has to come with Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? Cardano, XRP, or some other accepted token that's accepted as collateral. So you cannot run away from the fundamental, which is how do I
does credit
secure?
work? Yeah.
Yes, how do I secure this loan? How do I make sure that I get my money back? If not, you have a world where Nigerians are just like dominating the space, taking loans and not paying back. But yeah, so that's typically how DeFi works.
that's
No.
interesting, right?
So before we
you guys are not
demarket
interested
Nigerians,
in-
before we demarket Nigerians, collecting loans and not paying back is a global issue. It's not Nigerians alone.
No, it's not Nigerian.
But anyway,
it's
I
like
you're
to-
opening up a whole new conversation because people just look at crypto as crypto, but now you're talking when you go into DeFi. Even for me, right? Because even as an asset manager and investor, I'm always looking at securities lending both ways, right? So even with custodians, with banks, there's a repo market as well where you can borrow a bond for a few days, right?
Overnight
There's other
lending.
markets where you can
Yeah.
also lend, and
Yeah.
so and one of the things that when I talked about Bitcoin piquing my interest is when Morgan Stanley came out to say you can now trade on the E-Trade platform, but JP Morgan came out to say you can now use it as collateral, right? And for me, that just made it a lot more interesting because now you're talking about creating a derivative of this stuff. So DeFi is where this conversation starts, but I didn't think of it as on the spread side where I have crypto, I can put it on the markets, and someone else can.
So you just
Oh,
yes,
so you just
yes.
give me some of those your rabbit hole YouTube links.
So yeah,
No.
that's
By the
actually very
way,
beautiful. Very beautiful.
and I'm not any expert or anything, but what you just spoke about is something that is very common,
Oh, sorry, yo.
very common.
Yeah, so
very common in
talking
the
about
crypto
something that's
market.
a little that I think is uncommon. So, I mean, do you see a world where, so I have, say, Ethereum worth maybe $5,000, but I don't want to sell it and I need money. So
can just lend it.
I can come to a platform, right?
Yep.
Still under this whole secret.
You can even use this to draw
I can come to
liquidity.
is the platform and then borrow 1M, right? And pay maybe school fees or whatever
Yeah.
with that. So now if I default in paying that 1M, what then happens?
Your Ethereum, yeah.
So did they take the entire Ethereum or the
No.
part of the Ethereum that is
As
not taking the
depends
money?
on what
any
the
proper
terms
institution
were.
would do.
Yeah.
No,
But what is the value of the
Yeah, okay, yes, that's what I was going to now explain. So because the value marks to markets, the value marks
So
to
once it
markets.
falls to a certain
Yeah,
point,
There's
do you
margin
get
calls.
a margin call to
Yeah.
say, hey,
Add
your
more
this thing is
money.
Yeah.
so by the time it falls below that margin call, you've not topped up your collateral, you get liquidated, and then typically
So
the
if I now
the-
don't top up, they'll just take that whole stuff.
no, they won't take. They can even
depends
sell
on-
it. They will sell it and give you the change.
Change.
But
Yeah,
because
it's
of
just
the
like collateral.
fluctuation of the market,
Yeah, just like a collateral.
yeah, because of the fluctuation of the market, your change can
no,
be tiny.
Arnold, to be honest, what you understand from
Yeah.
the bond market is
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
thing.
it's how it works.
Like
so
for like,
TradFi
yeah.
works with
Yeah.
DeFi. It's just that it's digital currencies. I love this.
so there are some platforms I've known that force you into, you just don't realize you have to deliberately opt out of a savings scheme where you bought crypto, you put it on their platform, and they just they automatically just put you into
Yeah,
a savings
it's
scheme and then
yeah.
start trading, and then you have to deliberately come.
Say no, give me my money.
Give me
Yeah.
my-
Does Quidax
my
allow this, or
money
you just
right.
exchange and you don't do any lending or anything on your platform, or do you allow it? Or now does it go into central bank because lending now is a banking thing, right?
Yeah.
To a degree, or microfinance bank. Or
Yeah.
am I talking too much? It's looking like I'm talking too much.
No. Your question is quite spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the
I'm going on you. I'm going on it right now.
Let me switch to monetization, right? So, and I'm curious to know. So, okay, tell me. So, how does the exchanges like yours make money? How does
CNGN.
How do they make money? Like, I mean, do they just provide
There's a
those?
fee, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, what's the model? It has to be a fee, but I don't know. Like,
Yeah, so I for CNG, I'm not. I have a theory, but I'm not exactly sure. But
so to use it, don't we pay them to use that?
No,
Really?
no. You don't pay. For Quidax transaction fees, right? So we charge transaction fees anywhere between 0.1, 10 bips and 100 bips.
100 bips. For what?
Whoa. 100 basis is 1%.
Yeah.
How much they charge on the exchange now?
It's
For
like-
it sell stock.
What is it, like 15?
70 basis.
Nah, it's not to 70. Up to 70. It depends on the size you do. Me, I do size now. So.
Senior boss.
Size.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
100 bips, okay. Okay.
But most people are typically around like the 10 bip.
So do you have institutions, Nigerian institutions that trade on Quidax now, or is
Yes.
it mainly retail?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have a lot of retail.
Second business idea
You
is
have
there
a lot
somebody
of
that's going
retail.
to build a stable coin specifically for Dirty December? But the person has to do a lot of work because you have to find merchants that will take it. You have to find the.
Yeah, but you don't really, right? Because they can just go
Why
on the
do they when
exchange.
you have the CN?
Yeah, because you go on the
Like,
exchange
why would you
and
want to do
exchange
that?
it.
But
You
I'm
don't
just curious.
No,
you don't need
so
to.
there will be.
So
I
talking
don't like
about-
the fact that there's just one. I never
you-
really like
There
that.
can be others as
Yeah.
well.
I never really like that.
There always
then on
be
the
a
cost
guinea
So,
pig.
side-
so
That's
for
how it
instance,
is.
our bar, I've had many people come up to me and say they want to do what we do. I sit down with them for hours and try
well
to
done. Yeah,
explain.
well done.
Do it, please do it, because you never want to be the only one doing
Yes, you
Why
something.
don't you
Yes,
want to
you
be
do.
the enemy?
Yeah, because every time when the day Pharaoh,
why-
the Pharaoh
why-
that doesn't like Joseph shows up, you are the only target, and it's easy to catch you.
But on the custody side, are there are banks now? Because you said the SEC is allowing custodian license. Are banks now custodians?
No. Not
Okay.
that I
Not
know
yet.
of.
Okay.
Not that I know
Is
of
it
yet.
not yet or
not yet?
not yet? Yeah.
Not yet.
But still, that still doesn't stop me as an institutional investor coming and buying.
Yeah.
But where do I house? Where would I
Oh no,
house
there's a licensed custody.
Custodian.
Yes, digital asset custodian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not part of a bank.
So what's
No,
real
not
banks
part of a
nowadays,
bank.
though?
Banks should be custodians.
I think
They're missing out on that action.
I think banks will
big
eventually. I think banks would eventually move.
Yeah,
I think banks would eventually
What
move.
about trustee
I'm
companies,
surprised
though?
that they're taking
Like,
too long.
Companies that are into trustees, like, I mean, they're like, or registrars.
Why would you need?
Maybe I- maybe I heard this
You don't
question.
need. You don't need.
Uncle
So
Ugodre.
So who's gonna get extinct here? That's where I'm going.
First
that's
of
where
all,
I'm going to this.
registrar.
Yeah, like who's gonna get
so the
extinct?
registrar gets
Sounds too good,
so okay. Well,
Why would you
in
need a
trading
registrar?
digital assets,
Because registrar acts like
you don't need a registrar.
Yeah.
Right,
because the
to
blockchain does that
identify,
already.
yes,
Yeah.
you don't need
Also,
a
you don't need a
clearinghouse.
CSCS.
But aren't so the registrars are, because I mean I've spoken to a few registrars and I said, look, I've asked them this question and I said, nope, they still have a role to play. They're
Where?
just gonna morph. I don't know.
How? They will become the
Because they
the
need
blockchain.
to. They need to.
I don't know.
They do the administrative work, right?
because see-
of aligning. I don't know names.
So the what
So
what
blockchain
so
does
what
that,
the
right?
block
So-
what the blockchain created?
So let's now fully go into like stocks, right?
Okay.
Equities. When you look at what the look, I think, and I might be very wrong, where the world is going to. the world is going to a place, and we spoke about tokenization a lot the other day, where everything is turned into a token.
Yeah.
Not because it's cool, not because it's
So they've said I drink too much, so I'm not drinking again.
Please go ahead. Don't.
I think from behind the camera, I'm hearing, you want to play again.
Guys, drink some mics. Come on.
No judgment.
Doesn't get drunk. That's all. Because we don't allow
Judgment.
that.
I don't understand.
Sorry, tokenization, which is
Yes.
something I want to talk to you about next.
Yeah.
Thanks for that reminder.
So when we think about technologies and the way technology moves, even the way financial system moves, it moves on the back of innovation. So what makes the most sense, right? Back in the day, let's even take China as an example. China used to be a largely cash-based economy.
Yeah.
Right? Nigeria used to. It's still a very largely cash-based economy, but on the island.
At least. Yeah.
On the island, take the island as an economy. There's a lot that happens
Without cash.
And that's really digital representation of the Naira moving from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Right? So now, what we're seeing is that there's a world where securities would not need to be cleared by a central clearinghouse. Securities, we don't need to write down the name of everybody who owns the stock on a ledger, whether the ledger be
digital
physical ledger or digital, right? We can, on creation, attach a name to the particular token.
To the life cycle
so this is
of that
one token.
yeah.
This is 100,000.
Wow.
The moment it moves from Ugo to Arnold, you know that it has moved from Ugo to Arnold, right? And then you don't need all of those functions in between that delay the process, right? Because the moment that the transaction gets done at the exchange venue, you might now be going to the clearinghouse, and then anything that happened in the day is over before you have to batch everything,
all
take
those
it there,
T
like
plus
all of
two,
those
T
things.
plus three dies.
It's efficiency, right? So the market would eventually, we don't know for sure when, but the market will essentially at some point move to the place where there's the best efficiency.
So this takes registrars out of the.
So this is
current form. Yes.
So this is not just for registrars. This is settlement as a whole.
Yeah.
This is settlement as a whole, and I'm talking banking too.
Yeah.
Banking catches the wave of blockchain in terms of, because I try not to explain how transfers work in Nigeria, because I know that if I do it a lot of the times, it will scare people. But really, in the sense of transfer from bank A to bank B and that settlement process, right? In the fact that you see it instantly and you think it is an instant movement, but you don't understand all the behind the doors conversations that happens. Blockchain eliminates a huge magnitude of work. Well, yes, it eliminates a lot of work, human input, because a lot of people will not have jobs also, but it also increases efficiency by a large amount. So for instance, that thing that you happen to have where you do a transaction and I send to you and it doesn't get to you and they say that 10 working days, that will not happen on a blockchain system. Do you get? So the thing is bringing it into the proper centralized finance system will not only remove CSCS, it will remove a lot of people from finance who would have nothing to do. And I know this because I'm dealing with those core issues. So if, for instance, if I were to bring blockchain into our bar, God,
change the game.
Ha!
So
we can basically sort out PFE and all the issues we have with pensions. Anyway, let's go to tokenization.
I want to go to tokenization. I'll talk about tokenization. So I started trading the markets when I was like 18 years old, right? And that's because there was something called CFDs and futures that allowed me, a CFD, contract for difference, it allowed me to put £10 into a stock that was £200.
Yep.
Right. And it was margin trading in a sense,
course, yeah.
right? Then we moved to the African markets. I know we had margin trading a while ago, margin trading stopped. But I've been looking at tokenization as a form of margin trading in the sense that, and I'd like I'd like to talk to you about it in the sense that, for example, one GTCO stock is 80 naira. Will tokenization allow me to take 1 unit of stock that's 80
That's
naira?
fractionalizing it essentially.
Exactly. So tokenization, right? So you can turn 1 unit into 100 small units, and 80 naira is now 8 naira.
But is that a better use case for crypto, or maybe fractionalize? Maybe
because how else can you fractionalize? Tokenization is a way to
real estate.
So you have 1 token of GTCO for 8 naira, and that allows you to partake.
That means if you have 1 naira, you can buy GTCO shares, basically.
Exactly.
So I think tokenization opens up a lot.
Okay.
Right? Tokenization allows us to fractionalize anything. So you can look at a building, right, and say, okay, you know what, this building in Lekki cost 100 million, right? Now, I might not have 100 million now, but I can find 100 people
Give them a token.
and give them, we divide this building into 100 units, right? And each unit and each token represents 1 unit of ownership in the building, right? So you can do that with real estate. You can do that with almost anything that you can imagine. So far, you're probably able to
This is done in Kenya
establish
for real estate, by the way.
the
ownership.
yes, that
So
ownership
On the
level.
blockchain.
Yes.
Administrative work. So,
Yes.
so blockchain now, because you're talking about blockchain now, because a registrar would come into play.
Yep,
right?
yep.
Or trustee to a degree, right? So
or custodian.
or custodian. So the blockchain now allows me as a one-man army. Will it now allow me as a one-man army to do all of that instead of me looking for a registrar to do all the administrative work? Is that what I'm on my? Let me rephrase. My assumption is tokenization. Using the word tokenization allows me to be a one-man army to do all that work.
No, I don't think so. Because there still needs to be, especially when you're talking about physical assets. If it's a digital asset, if it's an IP, right, it's easier.
But if it's a stock,
right? If it's a stock,
it's not physical per se.
It's still
there might still need to be some trustee involved, especially because a stock is a representation of something on ground, mostly.
Okay.
But not even just that. Not even just that. In the stock ecosystem, the way stocks are valued and priced is really outside of the blockchain system, so to say, right? Blockchain will be an enabler as against what the stock is built on. So, for instance, if the stock was listed on a blockchain system, it would not need that. However, it is built outside, so that you're using blockchain as an enabler to make it easier to use.
So can we ever see equities listed on the blockchain?
100%.
100%.
But
So it's an evolution.
Yeah.
Google Trade, you hear what I'm saying? I'm saying banking on the blockchain makes you would see less bank branches across the world. 2, you will see less bankers as what they call them across the world, because there will be less work for a lot of people to do, right? But it would also increase efficiency a lot. You will have less errors in terms of settlement transactions. I can't believe I'm sounding like this because I used to not be a crypto guy because I'm
Doomsday.
We converted you. We're beating you.
So when I say if we bring blockchain into our bar, I know what it will do is because I realize the super efficiency, because the things that would take my team 20 hours to do will be completed in like 5-10 minutes or less.
Okay.
Imagine the efficiency that will give to a team to be able to then free up a lot of time to go and do other things. Sure.
All right, guys. We're getting to the end of the show. We get to the buy, sell, or hold. But before we get to the buy, sell, or hold section, do we just go straight to buy, sell, or hold?
Let's go to buy, sell, hold.
All right, so let's go straight to buy, sell, or hold. That's what I wanted to ask, but let's just go straight to buy. So we'll go straight to buy, sell, or hold. So buy, sell, or hold basically is buy means yes, right? Or you agree. Sell means no, you don't agree. Hold means like you're neutral on it, which means there are certain questions that you probably might not want to respond to. So my first buy, sell, or hold question is, who gets extinct first? Okay, in this whole setup. Registrars, the CSCS, asset managers.
No, we
Here.
I
I met somebody who said he's ready to kick you guys out very soon. So be there, be talking. The guy's already building the code.
I don't understand.
But anyway, so those three. So which one are you buying in terms of not going extinct, selling is going extinct, and hold is your neutral? So registrars, clearing systems, and then asset managers. We're talking maybe the next 5 years, though.
Next
Not like
5
it's now.
years?
Yeah. Next 5
wow.
years. Yeah. So let's give them time.
That's soon. Next 5 years is soon.
10.
Yeah,
Okay, 10.
10.
Mhm.
Okay, 10. 10 is
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
10, I'll sell registrars.
Mm.
I'll sell registrars 100%. In the current form, I'll sell registrars if they don't
Except
change.
they evolve.
Yes, I'll sell registrars.
Okay.
Asset managers.
I have to use the 3 options, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Asset managers is a buy.
I would.
You don't have to use the 3 options. You can be selling all of them or buying all of them.
Okay,
Or whichever
okay.
one, yeah.
I'll sell CSCS as well. Sorry.
No, not CSS. That's the clearing system.
Yes.
In the current form.
Yeah.
In current form is already saying,
Yeah. 10 years. Now, am I thinking about just blockchain and am I thinking about just blockchain?
I mean, the entire crypto universe and the way it's likely going to evolve in the next 10 years. I mean, the way it is now is not how it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I'll hold asset managers. Hold, yes, because I'm not just thinking about crypto. I'm thinking about tech in general and where tech is moving.
Hey! Usually I like to go last, but okay, let me just go last for Adolf. Adolf.
Yeah, for me, asset managers is a buy. I'm extremely biased. I mean, let me also tell you why. So 10 years ago, right, Farouk Oriagba and I, we used to scout Africa, trying to get Africans to trade Eurobonds. And a lot of people didn't want to hear about Eurobonds. Obviously, Access Bank was very supportive. We literally traveled from country to country. Even Euroclear didn't even want to give African banks our Euroclear accounts. The only way an African bank could hold Eurobonds was through Citi or JP Morgan. And I was on the phone to Euroclear in Luxembourg trying to get them to. And when you look at us now, we have Eurobond mutual funds. So we have mutual funds in Nigeria that actually hold Eurobonds. And I believe it's the same thing you're probably going to go through. And you have pioneers like me now who are buying the story, who know.
Are you a convert now?
Yeah, I mean, who kind of have an idea what it takes to actually get a new asset class in, get people to push, get people to buy. So I actually think that asset managers would be one of the drivers of this because we house liquidity for people, we advise investors. You've seen the asset management industry. 10 years ago, we were 200 billion naira under management. Today, it's 5 trillion naira under management. Right? It's still young globally, but there's room to grow. So I think that asset managers are actually one of the. So buy.
Clearing systems.
Clearing systems, registrars. I mean, listen, we have a registrar, Codros. I'll say buy. Clearing systems, sell. Tunji.
You've had enough time to think about this. Like, what are you still pondering?
No, it's so definitely registrars. I'd never really understood why they were there in the first place, but that's
Now them they pay dividend though.
that's why they pay. Because I my mind doesn't see it as a thing that will exist in 10 years' time. You get? I just don't.
Say it again. Okay.
My
Sorry,
mind
I
doesn't
understand.
see them exist in 10 years' time.
Yeah.
But the evolution of technology, you can already see the clear pathway to technology removing it as an entire sector. So I sell them heavy. Clearing systems, right? Was the other one.
Yeah, current
Yeah,
system.
clearing system.
Clearing systems, of course, I would.
But can't they just adopt blockchain and then?
No. So
In the
clearing
current
systems,
form.
In the current form, that's
in
what
the
we're saying.
current, no,
Okay.
no, in the current form, no.
Yeah.
So in the current form, I hold because I believe with time they will learn. The current form is not going to work, but I believe that,
So what's that now? Sellish hold or whatever?
Sellish hold. Sellish hold. So sellish hold for the point of the fact that they have the fundamentals to flip, right? So if they were to, with what they have right now as a business model, they were to take a blockchain company, probably buy a blockchain company from India or something, and then just merge that technology with what they have, it becomes gold, right? So that's why I'm sellish hold on them, because
Until they make
Asset
the change.
managers.
until they make the film. Well, asset managers, the fantastic thing about asset managers is asset managers are the ones that really create the market. You get?
Yeah.
So they're the ones that go out and sell it. They're the ones that build the value of what the market is supposed to be. Quote unquote. So if, for instance, I was going to, so let's just say this was an asset, right? Let's say this was an asset, and somebody came to tell me that buy this, and I'm like, well, what's this? So the asset manager is the car version of the car salesman. Is the person that tells you it goes from 0 to 100 in
Okay. So
5
buy.
seconds. So
Because there's
buy.
more buy, sell, or holds. I don't want to take more time. Right. So for me, buy, sell, or hold in the current form, clearing system, sell, registrar, sell, asset managers. 10 years from now, I would hold.
Why?
Yeah, and that's because I agree with Buchi. The way technology is going, and we're already seeing it happen. I doubt that my son
We'll go to an
in
asset
10
manager.
years' time will need. Hold on, I said
Wait.
we need an asset manager. Hold on, to trade, and that's because of AI. Let's also understand that we're at the early stages of AI and what it can do. 10 years from now, 10 years from now, you would never have thought that your child would not need a decoder to watch his favorite cartoon. But today, all he needs is internet.
No, but it doesn't matter, man.
And a
Listen,
phone.
you can-
But hold up. So that is just me.
That's
Like,
it,
like,
that's it.
I said,
Yeah.
10 years from now, I said hold.
That's it.
right?
That's him. That's it.
I said hold.
I'll let it go.
That's why I
fine.
said hold.
That's
That's
fine.
fine. That's fine.
Let's
But-
see now.
So now, to the next buy sell.
No,
We'll see.
but I want to quickly say something
Yeah.
about that. The thing that I expect to happen is that as AI evolves, there will be asset managers that will use AI.
Definitely.
And
Well,
they,
we're talking about current form, right?
Yeah, they're talking about current form asset
current
managers.
form
Where-
asset managers.
Yeah,
so
current
current
form.
form asset managers already use AI. There are some wicked guys that are sitting,
Yeah, of course.
showing you spread,
Of course.
and they are basing a lot of it based on
That's what
AI,
I'm saying.
then
So
they take
current
their
form
informed-
asset managers will find it difficult to exist 10 years from now. That's what I'm saying, because machines will learn this thing. Current form asset managers are using machines at
Sure,
the
when
moment.
Google was invented, that's what
to
someone said.
get
right?
over
You can
alpha.
just Google what stock to buy.
But I mean,
It's asset managers.
that's why I said hold. So next buy sell or
Alright.
hold. I kind of like this one though, because I like the way this.
Wait, how
sounds.
many minutes have we got?
So we've crypto would mint Nigeria's next billionaire in dollars in the next 10 years. Buy, sell, or hold.
Sorry,
because-
crypto will do us.
Will mint Nigeria's next billionaire in dollars within the next 10 years. You don't believe me? Yes, in dollars. Yeah.
Okay.
In
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna have a billionaire basically born out of the crypto industry. So today we have We have 4
Don't you
billionaires in
already have?
Nigeria. No, we only have 4 billionaires in Nigeria in USD.
Bros,
We
I was
have.
about to say,
I beg you.
Steve Jobs, Forbes.
Black on black.
I'm talking
beg
about.
you.
I'm talking about the balls of Forbes.
So, Tyrannosaurus was that Elizabeth.
Wait. Let's be serious. Let's be serious. So today, let's be serious. So
Already on his jobs.
today we have.
Well, I thought when he walked in,
We
I
have
was like,
Dangote.
Aliko Dangote is cement
Rabiu.
refinery. Rabi is not a I don't know. Is he a Forbes billionaire?
Yes.
Number 2 is Adenuga,
Yeah.
oil and gas, telco. Number 3 is Rabiu,
Yeah.
right? Cement, food. Then number 4 is Otedola, energy, and I guess maybe banking now. I think the next, in fact, those are the only 4 Forbes billionaire list in Nigeria today. So
are we using Forbes now?
Forbes is the official billionaire list. That's it. Even if you like,
Bros,
check
let's
Bloomberg
use
as well. Same thing.
Naira
But I don't know. It's our bad list. Our bad list. So that we'll see his name inside. So yeah, buy, sell, or hold.
I'll buy.
You buy, right?
Yeah, I'll buy.
Yeah.
And let me explain why.
Okay.
So today, Nigeria leads the world second in crypto adoption.
Oh,
right?
yeah?
Yeah.
Who's first though?
India, I think.
Okay.
And the reason why is because we have quite a lot of young people. However, still, we don't have as much liquidity,
Yeah.
right? There's really
This is
not
tiny,
a lot of
tiny.
money. We still have a lot of young people, which means if you give us a median age of 20 years old, it means that a lot
We
of
get to 30.
people are still in school. We get to
Yeah.
30. These
Yeah.
people who are
100%.
comfortable with crypto, who grew up in crypto,
Yeah.
who bought meme coins,
Yeah.
are now happy to put their money in Bitcoin and all these other tokens, right? So you have a lot of interesting applications being built, and you have a lot of people who now have the purchasing power to be part of that economy, right? You have education that's increasing. You have even access to education and technologies, the ability to build cool things that's now a lot more open, is a lot easier, right? So when you add all of those variables together, you have a world where you have a lot of people, you have a lot of people with a lot more purchasing power, and then you have people who are hungry enough to build things and then sell things like crazy, right? You have a very decent recipe to start minting billionaires like we're seeing in India now. Yeah.
Did you have crypto billionaires in India though?
Crypto, no, not yet.
Arnold?
Yeah, I think the same, man. I think 100% the same. I think that he's exactly said it in terms of young population grows. Consumer as well is a huge. I mean, we're a big consuming nation, and these young consumers are growing. There's a whole globalization, right? With social media, we're getting even more global. We're seeing, looking outside a lot more, and trying to imitate what we see outside. I actually think that what you've created is actually something that's amazing, and something that will actually an exchange. I mean, I'm actually surprised that the government isn't tapping on your door trying to figure out how to make this more of a quasi-government thing than a private exchange, because I think that what you've created is a massive opportunity.
You guys telling you chill.
Yeah, 100%. I think.
By the way,
I think
Polygon
it
founder
comes
is a billionaire though.
I think it comes from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Who's Polygon's from?
Oh, you don't know
Sandeep.
So
Sandeep.
by the way, for Nigeria's top 5 billionaires, Aliko
next name comes from
Dangote,
crypto.
Mike Adenuga, Rabiu, Femi
gosh.
Otedola, Jim Ovia are the top
Ovia
5.
is not a Forbes billionaire, please. Can we just go? Just do your buy sell.
Wait, I just Googled it.
No,
But my
just
point is,
Google.
every country that has crypto billionaires has a particular characteristic. The country they exist in is a country with high liquidity in terms of high consumer spending and also high GDP per capita, right? So you generally tend to find them in very comfortable countries.
Affluent.
Yeah, affluent countries, right? I'm not saying that it's impossible to find somebody who is to be very rich in Nigeria, but to get to that billionaire in dollars in Nigeria, living in Nigeria, it requires more than the person Do you get?
You
So
need the
that
market to be
billionaire
working.
status conversation is more than that person. It is the person plus Nigeria thriving. So if Nigeria, for instance, were to now blow, if we blow, it will happen. But on not, if we don't blow,
But you know,
We'll blow now.
this
So you're
is something
selling.
something I was talking about.
blow.
Right? We always like to think everything is
yeah.
Yeah, rapture.
but it's actually gradual.
Yeah,
that's
of
why
course.
that's why I'm looking at
10 years.
10 years, the young population, the consumerism, the what we
10
have,
years.
crypto is going to be huge. And remember, the world is also evolving around crypto,
Yep.
right? And we're also going to be moving with the world. I mean,
I
we're
don't
seeing-
disagree with you. My point is, without Nigeria moving in the direction of blowing, forgive me for using the word blow, but if Nigeria doesn't improve just basic fundamentals like GDP per capita, consumer spending,
Yeah, but you know the funny
savings
thing
to
about
savings ratio to GDP,
no, but
because
Tunji,
those things are critical.
the funny thing about crypto is, imagine Nigeria goes bad, crypto does better. Imagine all of a sudden we get another midfielder that shuts out FX borders. Right.
No,
so
no,
the
no,
worst
no, no,
things
no.
get.
I think he missed a lot of what he said, right? Because his theory basically is that you have a lot of young people
Yeah.
that have already started investing in crypto.
I don't disagree.
Small
And
purchasing
remember, we're
power.
looking at 10 years from now. So you're looking
I
at
don't
Nigeria
disagree.
today. Anyway,
If
so
the
you're
Nigeria,
selling.
if you move to Canada, you can become a crypto billionaire.
The question was Nigeria.
Based in Nigeria, I'm still saying the same thing. I'm saying, look at every crypto billionaire across the world. It is not a mistake that all of them live in countries that are affluent.
I think we're saying the same thing, because like my bet is that in the next 10 years
Nigeria
will be more
If
affluent
Nigeria
than
does
we
not
are.
blow, it will not happen. It's so
So
the
I'm saying
person.
buy, sell, or hold, man.
I'm saying I'm holding sell.
I'm a buy.
I'm
I'm strong
holding
buy.
sell.
I'm a strong
But
buy.
it's based on the fact that Nigeria really
Actually,
does
I'm actually
well.
enjoying this session because it's making me.
That's the whole idea.
Yeah, making
I'm
me
buying, by the
really
way. I'm buying.
open-minded.
I'm buying. But
Yeah.
I mean, very, very,
Strong buy.
but that
No,
buy
I'm
is
a
not a
buy.
very strong
I'm
buy.
sold, man. I'm actually aggressively sold.
It's buy. And contrary to what Buchi actually thinks, I actually don't think it's going to be a young person, right? I actually think it's going to be
Somebody who has made a lot of money and
who-
then transitions.
probably is borderline, or somebody is probably wealthy already and just decides to switch. I kind of think that's where it's
What,
going to
what,
go.
what,
I'll be
what I
wrong, but
can't
I kind of
figure
feel
is
that way.
where this person, where
kinda
the
feel that
blowing
way.
stands. Does it stand on the exchange side? Does it stand as an
Exactly. It
investor?
could be anything.
Does it
It
stand
could be.
in the, yeah, I'm just
Because
that's,
most
that's
of the
what I'm trying
billionaires
to
we
figure
have
my head
today
around.
now, apart from the ones that we had maybe bought Bitcoin several years ago and just turned to millions or billions, have actually been the people behind exchanges. Like the being a Binance guy, he's a billionaire. He's
Yeah,
runs
that's
an
what I'm like.
exchange.
What you
So
built is
some of the guys that we've seen aren't they? Well, maybe the guy who created Ethereum. I don't know. I think-
Vitalik.
Yeah. So, I mean, can a trader be a billionaire? Maybe like in another 10 years, can we have traders like that?
Of course, I think so.
Individuals.
Yeah, but like for you to
You
trade
know,
your way
this is
to
a
a,
wallet.
for you to trade your way to $1 billion,
It's
or you might buy. Who
one of those
knows?
coins, right?
Who knows
Yeah.
the person who bought the
Yeah.
20,000
Exactly.
Bitcoin?
That
Who
guy.
knows they're not
yeah,
Nigerian?
maybe like Tunji coin.
You might buy
Anyway, last-
Bitcoin at 78 cents.
Yeah. Last buy, sell, or
get
hold.
lucky.
I want to end with use cases, and I'm trying to know which ones you're buying, selling, or holding in terms of something that might turn to a very real life use case.
Yeah.
Based on cryptocurrency, that whole cryptocurrency universe. So, and I have a number of use cases. So, equities. We talked about equities, real estate, and then. Okay, let me break it down because I was going to say financial services. So, equities, real estate, banks, insurance. Pension funds are not rated, so just those four.
What? How?
They're not rated.
No. Please explain.
They're not rated in this.
Rated
in
how?
This conversation.
If there's any
they're not
investment
rated.
portfolio,
Yeah.
if there's any investment portfolio that actually requires the full gamut of blockchain,
let them deal
is
with
the pension
equities
space.
first. Let's go and do equities.
No.
You guys are,
But they are very advanced. They are very advanced. It's the new regulation is going to expose them to a lot of things, and I think they probably were that meeting.
I like
so
that.
yeah,
That changes defending. Anyway, back to Barcelona. So which ones have use case?
Okay, so you called.
So I said banking, equities, insurance. Yeah. So, okay, let me start again. Equities, real estate, banking, insurance.
Okay, which of them have
use cases.
Do you think we have a very good use case for cryptocurrency in Nigeria?
in Nigeria?
Essentially backed by crypto, buy, sell, or hold within the next 10 years. Do you think that, so if it was me, so let me start with me. So real estate buy, I think that tokenization is what real estate is waiting for in Nigeria to at least for
Maybe
a lot
not
of the,
crypto,
for a lot of the dead
blockchain,
assets. That's what I'm talking about, the entire crypto universe. Yeah, you can't talk
100%
crypto
agree.
without blockchain.
100% agree.
Yeah, so I think that's what it's waiting for. So it's a buy for me. Then if I come to equities, I think it's a sell. I don't think that equities is probably the last mile, probably further down the line. Banking, I mean, payment aspect of banking, you're already seeing that happen. So I think that's a buy for me. So I think the lending aspect of banking as well, it's a buy for me. I think it's inevitable. The same way you've seen all these peer-to-peer lending and all this micro banking and micro lending banking skills pop all over the place. And even new banks, it's just a matter of time. So it might not displace the traditional banking that we know, but it's just going to be a new kind of banking that will come out of this use case. And then for insurance, I don't really see a use case. I don't know. Maybe that's where I'm missing.
So one of the biggest issues across...
We'll reach you now.
Sorry.
Because
you know, I play around the insurance place
That's why I
too,
said,
so,
that's why I said sell. So
my
let's come
insurance
back to
people are
Buchi.
listening, so I have to
So what's the use
represent.
case?
Okay, so for banking is an easy buy. I think banks, they like to understand what's going on and then innovate. So we're seeing a lot going on with banks outside the country. So
Morgan and Co.
so banking is a buy. Real estate is a hold.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
I would have thought that would be the first.
Yeah, so you also now have to think about the realities on ground. There are principalities that sit on.
Not about that side.
That's not
Because for me, it's
Do not bet on that.
no. Because for me, I'm thinking if I was a real estate developer,
Isn't that happening already?
Just
Buchi? You said it's
unitize.
happening in Kenya.
I'll just unitize my whole property so I can raise money
And list it
easier,
on
right?
Quidax.
So I
Like,
can
why
raise
can't I
money
do that?
easier.
I actually mentor
feels like
a
that's what everybody should
company
be doing.
in Kenya that does this. So I cannot.
Are they still alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what they do is basically tokenize the building.
Yeah.
So it's just fractional.
But I get your point though. So there's the fractionalization
That's
of
easy.
the asset.
It's easy to
But-
do.
So what's
But
hard?
the other part, which is
What's the other part?
C of O and all that stuff. That's what
Yeah,
we're going
so-
to.
No,
so-
but that part, okay.
So you have to. How am I sure that this thing that you have on the blockchain, you actually own it on ground?
But isn't that where custodians
Is that where an
and all those
exchange
guys
comes
come
in?
No, the
custodians
exchange is
or
just
the SEC.
exchanging.
The custodian.
The custodian is custodying the token.
So not the assets.
There has to be some form of trust
Validation,
mechanism.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I said
That-
trustees.
Yeah. So
trustees
they
have
have
business.
for it to work. For it to work, they are,
Someone has to verify the asset.
yeah, that legal ownership of the actual assets is a very big
You
deal.
can't just have a conversation with a trustee to just say, verify you're the custodian or verifier of this
Yeah,
asset.
so
Yeah.
trustees do that job. Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
No, do not.
But I get his point though.
eliminate the
It's probably-
trustee. The government itself.
Yeah.
Because it's the
Government doesn't
government.
come into
No. It's the government
Yeah.
that issues the legal title to the property.
Yeah, but that part doesn't matter
No,
because
no,
the-
when there are disputes is what he's saying. When there are disputes,
let me get
time,
let me say
guys.
this. Legal, the is the government that says you are the valid owner of this property.
Wow.
Yeah.
If the government builds that system on the blockchain, then there's no dispute.
No, but fractional, you're not necessarily trying to...
Ownership is the conversation. If the government builds its ownership structure in terms of who owns
On the
property
blockchain.
on the blockchain.
That's in Nigeria.
No, if we do it, I say if we do it, then there's no
Allow
dispute.
Buchi to finish his by saying, "Oh, we're out of time already."
So I'll hold real estate.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that.
Equities. I'll hold equities as well. Insurance, I don't think I know enough of how the industry works here. I don't think I know enough about
Why
the
you
industry.
laugh?
works.
Just sell like me.
Yeah, so I'll be cautious and sell.
All right, Arnold.
So for me, real estate is the easiest one in my mind, right? Because tokenization, fractional ownership, it's just listed on the exchange. I can even sell if I hold this thing for 6 months. I should be able to, it creates a secondary market.
Yeah,
as
of
well.
course.
So for me, it's like it makes so much sense. So I'll say buy for real estate, equities. Equities, it makes sense, but I think it might take a while for everyone to get their heads around it. Although I think another thing, it's useful. For example, NG Clearing just launched futures, right? So you should be able to trade NG futures. But to be able to fractionalize a GTCO stock or a Seplat stock,
A lot of things are involved.
Yeah. Well, a lot of things are involved that need to come
together.
So equities as a whole, our banks should be on this thing, man. So banks should be a buy. I think our banks should be running to be custodians. It should be crawling over themselves. So actually our banks should be leading crypto conversations, in my view. The way we're seeing Morgan Stanley have E-Trade and JP Morgan announced that they're going to take a lot. So Goldman Sachs also announced something as well recently, or 6 months ago. I think our banks should be on the forefront of all this stuff. If not, anyway, I don't know, grow or die, maybe not, I don't know. Insurance, I don't see it. I can't see it. I can't see it.
I'm surprised.
yeah.
I'm surprised though.
I'm not seeing
Tell
it.
Everybody
us,
has said the
what are
same
you
thing
buying?
about
Seen it,
insurance.
yeah. I mean,
What are you seeing?
what am I insuring? What are you...
Quickly though.
So insurance,
Payments?
definitely. Let's even start with insurance. One of the biggest issues in insurance is insurance fraud, right? My car's crashed.
So where does crypto come in?
So first of all, one of the things that does happen in insurance is I could insure the same car with 3 of you,
Wow.
Isn't that third party?
even full automated, as in comprehensive.
Same car with 3
3
insurance.
of
Okay,
you,
got it.
and collect my claims from all 3 of you, right?
but
Because there's no
Centralized
mechanism
system
that
to check.
says
Yeah.
to you that this, because there's no central system that allows me to be
People
able
do
to.
that now. Wow.
Oh, in Nigeria, it's a So and it's not just car fraud. As in insurance fraud is huge in the world. Not forget Nigeria. So one of the things that a blockchain system will do is at least eliminate the multiplicity of claims
So that means the token has to be sold. then.
Exactly. Then another thing again is that I could have crashed the car and then come and sign up with you,
Aye.
and then claim.
So you didn't do inspection.
Exactly.
Well, first of all,
Now you fuck up.
first
now.
of all,
And then you don't have police report anyway. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is
You
because there's
can-
no insurance fraud that insurance people are not involved. But let's go.
so
But let's go. Right,
no,
Nigeria.
I disagree. My insurance people are watching. I would not stand by.
No insurance slander.
So there's an insurance roundtable happening tomorrow. So I cannot allow this happen. But by the way, this conversation around people going and then the crash has happened, then they insure after the fact is also real and it's legitimate. Now, for instance, there needs to be a system that takes into account the police report. If there's a police report, that needs to take into account the incidents report. If there is an incident report, that factors in all those things into the computation of how you claim
This is like
for.
a 20-year solution. You're
No.
coming with.
I'm saying.
This
I'm
insurance
saying.
industry
I'm
that hasn't
saying that.
recapitalized.
So for instance, so let me go say this.
They can't even get recapitalization done for like 20 years. Please, can we move to banking? We've heard you buy. It's okay. Let's move to banking.
I am
Banking,
buying
please.
for insurance, but insurance needs
overall.
blockchain.
So it's not a buy-ish anything. It's
No,
just
it's buy. It's a straight buy.
Wow. No buy sell. Buy sell.
Banking will triple productivity and reduce overhead by over 50% with the introduction of blockchain.
How did you get 50%?
So the biggest part, the biggest cost of banking really a lot of the times is one, the human capital, the branches. Just those physical ATM people, those things is the biggest cost to banks. Blockchain will reduce a lot of it because it doesn't, you don't need a lot of people.
Real
It
estate.
reduces that. Real estate to be, also from what I understand from Kenya's ecosystem enables this to happen. The land registry system is not yet on the blockchain, but they are looking to get on it. So if they get on it, it becomes fantastic. But the way it works there is that 4 of us could buy a property, right? One single property, and we're equal owners to that same property. And the system doesn't just allow us own it. It also rations usage. You know, if, for instance, we want to use it for what's that Airbnb purposes. So that is a good thing, but I don't think Nigeria is. Equities, it should just stay where it is. I don't understand where it's going again. Honestly, I don't understand.
All right.
Just
Is that
stay where it
a
is.
sellish hold or sell?
It's a sellish sell.
All right, guys. This has been Drinks and Buy. What a show today. By the way, buy, sell, and hold Buchi is a buy for me.
Yeah,
amazing.
Absolutely
For those of
buy.
us who don't understand crypto, thank you so much. Cheers.
Yes, of course.
Are you
yeah.
rushing us off the show? What's that?
Yes,
You're
yes,
chasing
yes.
us away.
Rushing you out.
Wait, did we go over time?
A quick thanks to our supporters. We have Lead Drop with the drinks, and we also have CFG with their support. Thank you for CFG Africa.
There's an
by the way.
Africa in the name.
Yeah, CFG Africa. Thanks, of course, to you, our viewers, for watching Drinks and Mics. Live audience, Drinks and Mics coming up very soon in the next 2 weeks. Dates is going to be up right there in the comment section. You're going to see it there. It's just strictly by invite. And also want to thank everybody who has made this possible, and the guys behind the scenes here. I guess on the last episode, you guys are going to see the faces, the guys behind.
Yeah, you're going to see
behind us,
them.
making
You're
all
gonna see them.
those things work for us. And
You guys are
Otumba
making
Dell, who not in the studio today, but it's around somewhere, making sure everything works really well for all of us. Thank you all so much for being a part of this, and thanks, Buchi, for being on Drinks and Mics today. Really
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
My pleasure.
Very
Until we do this
exciting.
again
My
next
pleasure.
week, do have a
I
profitable
can't
week
believe I
ahead.
did a
And
peace
comment
sign.
section, please.
I just did a
Okay,
peace sign.
peace, guys. This guy's trying to make me look